Well, a very warm Wednesday welcome to you from the NOEVIR Stadium in Kobe, where Vissel Kobe hosts Shimizu S-Pulse. A meeting of two sides who are going really well in the western section of this 100-year Vision League. The bridge, of course, between the altering J-League seasons. They know how to build an atmosphere here. It's not full by any means, but the pre-match light show, the rhythmical chanting is really something to behold as we wait for them to walk here. And here they come, led by our referee Hiroyuki Kimura in his first season in the top flight. Vissel on top in the West, having lost only once, but that defeat did come against today's opposition, Shimizu S-Pulse, who lie fourth in the table at the moment, only 3 points behind today's opposition. Win again today, Takayuki Yoshida's team will draw level on points at the top, and there is added incentive once again for Yoshida. A glorious job that he did with Vissel, 2 title wins, but replaced now by Michael Skibbe, and keen to make a point again for the second time this season against his old club. Well, it's been a good week so far for Japanese football. A great win against England for the national side yesterday. And now a real shift in focus as we switch to domestic matters. A ceremonial kickoff of all things. Not enough of those these days. This all about the battle for supremacy at the top of the West. Vissel have won 2 of the last 3 titles. They're keen to finish this special season on top of the pile as they build towards the new J-League season, which of course begins in the autumn. For Shimizu, a case of continued adjustment under a new coach, an adjustment that's going especially well at the moment. Not that this will surprise fans of Vissel, who all know just how good Yoshida is. Well, Vissel Kobe make 2 changes to the team that beat Sanfrecce last time, both at fullback. Nanase Ino comes in at right back. Diego returns down the left-hand side to make it 3 Brazilians in the back 4. Agihara holds the midfield. Ideguchi and Goke the progressive 2. And then Ren Komatsu leads the line off the back of his 3 goals this season so far. Hirose and Nagato either side to make up Michael Skibbe's 4-1-2-3. So that's how Vissel Kobe line up. We'll take a look at the Shimizu side in a moment, but first here's our referee Hiroyuki Kimura. Watanabe and Umeda the assistants, Hiromichi Oka the 4th official. And there's our VAR team led by Akihiko Ikeuchi with Yuzo Sutani as the assistant. And there are 3 alterations to the Shimizu team. The back 4 remains the same in front of Togo Umeda. Park settling now alongside Sumiyoshi. Zento Uno drops in to hold the midfield, and there are 2 fresh creative options in Kenta Chiba and Kazuke Kozuka in behind a front 3 in which Hikaru Nakahara comes in alongside Kapishaba and Oh Se-hyun, who has 3 goals so far this season. A 4-1-2-3 to match that of Skibbe from Takayuki Yoshida. Well, he's achieved plenty. Did a good job with Sanfrecce, but believes that Vissel could be the side with whom he wins J-League, a job that was too hard to resist, a job that used to belong to him. Yoshida trying to get things done now with his new club. Ren Komatsu's been in good form. Great form in the lower leagues in J3, the third tier. This the first season that he's looked like translating it to the big time. Shimizu will kick from left to right in this first half, all in white. Kazuki Kozuka to get things underway, and off we go at the NOEVIR battle for supremacy at the top of the West. Diego looks to get on with it, and he does have a fearsome throw. Here's Matthias Thule, his countryman. Obviously a huge Brazilian presence in football in Japan, but you don't often get three Brazilians in a back four. But that's the case here with Thule, Joao Caetano and Diego. Nagato wasn't able to control. Vissel too clear of Kyoto Sanga and of Gamba as well. Interestingly, because Vissel were playing catch-up, both their last games were against the same opposition. That doesn't happen very often against Sanfrecce. Shimizu won 3-1 and Vissel 2-1 against Skibber's former team. Vissel have had 3 draws. They've won 1 of those on penalties. Shimizu have had 5 draws in this campaign. They proved hard to beat. They've lost only once on the opening day at Nagoya. 3 of those 5 draws have been converted into an extra point on penalties. A reminder, that is the case in this special season, to try and create separation in these smaller divisions of West and East. They had the penalty shootout should the game finish in a draw, and the extra point goes to the winner of that. It just allows for that separation. If we didn't have those shootouts, then you'd find an awful lot of teams on the same number of points. It's just mathematics. There's been a lot of rain around, by the way. You can see how it's affecting the pitch. 350-kilometer journey west to Kobe for Shimizu. Diego, the new arrival from Kashiwa Reysol, he went so close to the title win with Reysol last season. Yoshida with the throw. Long towards O, who's so important to the way that they play, the tall player from the Korea Republic. On loan from Machida Zelvia, where it hasn't ever quite worked for him. You would have thought he'd be perfect for them. Hirose wriggling away, but that's going to run behind fairly harmlessly. Vissel with those 2 recent J-League wins. Shimizu have never won J-League, despite being one of the original 10, the formation clubs in 1991. Came desperately close in 1999, when things were done differently. Won the second stage of the playoffs and then lost J-League on penalties to Jubilo Iwata. They're great rivals. There's Sumiyoshi, and now nudged away by Matthias Tuller. There is the big man, O. Cleared away by Zento Uno, who's got such an important job to do this evening in the centre of that midfield, trying to stop Vissel from playing. They are, in general, a pretty progressive side, Shimizu. They like to get on the ball and play, but can't be too wide open against a team like Vissel. Kenta Chiba, second year at the club, yet to score in this campaign, but one that they feel is just getting better and better. Vissel just trying to build something. Might break kindly here, and held on too well by Togo Umeda. Long towards O. See what Shimizu are trying to do here, trying to use their pace in forward areas to catch Vissel on the counter. Nagato. Joao Caetano to take the free kick here. There's Yuta Goke, Ideguchi, but cleared away. There's that man again, Zento Uno, the former Machida player. Joao Caetano, and here's Diego. Cleared by Kitazume. An interesting opening 10 minutes here. Interesting tests for both, having started so well, with Shimizu having the advantage when they played earlier on in the campaign. Oh, with the goal on that occasion. Yutaka Yoshida to take the free kick. Scored last time against Sanfrecce, his first of the campaign. 36 now, but still a really consistent performer for them. Poorly directed though, and headed away by Matthias Tuller. Kitazume, that's a really useful ball towards Kapishaba. Cross to retrieve is Kazuki Kozuka. Sumiyoshi helped on towards Nakahara, but hooked away by Diego. Diego in his Kashiwa Reysol days, almost an extra winger down the left-hand side, always looked a real threat. They've had him pinned back at the moment. Forward towards O. Diego shoved to the ground. Hit long towards O, one for him to chase. Now Yoshida. Forward by Matthias Tuller. Matthias Tuller with the ball forward and just bounces off Hirose. There's no question that Shimizu have started the better here. They look nice and organised and confident, well balanced. Clubs like Shimizu, second year back after promoted again, this special season really good for them because no relegation, something at stake, but not loads at stake, but they're able to really build something, and they'll feel they can hit the ground running at the beginning of the next J-League season. teams that this special season benefits more than any of the 3 promoted teams, because they get a chance to get used to this level without danger of relegation. Massive bonus for them. Here's Diego. A reminder, by the way, this special season is self-contained, so what will happen at the end of the campaign, there'll be playoffs. First will play first, second play second, and so on and so forth in East and West to give us a final standing. There's a Champions League place up for grabs for the team that wins it. Aside from that, it will just be for the record. There was an alternative argument to say you could play this special season and then it would give you some kind of points differential in the next J-League campaign, but I guess that might have been too complicated. It would have been interesting. But I can understand why you want to keep the seasons all separate. Here's Sumiyoshi. They look really composed. Shimizu, Kozuka. Now once again it's Yutaka Yoshida. Kapishaba turned into trouble. Now maybe it's Vissel who can break. Agihara. Diego with the ball across. It's a superb one, and it should be 1-0. It was on a plate there from Diego. This is what he does so well. Hirose made the run. It's a hard one to control, but got to score. Doesn't need that much of a touch. Would have been a good finish, don't get me wrong, but you'll feel he should have scored there. Now at the other end, it's Nakahara. Rose's last goal back in 2024. Not the most accomplished finisher. If we do see that chance for Hirose again, one other interesting thing is that you have a look at the goalkeeper, Umeda. He's quite lucky, because if Hirose takes a touch, Umeda lifts his leg and fouls him. It would have been a penalty and would have been a red card as well. No question that once Hirose goes for goal, the ball's over the bar and out of play. It doesn't matter, but in a different world, that could have gone very differently for the goalkeeper. So One effort on target for Vissel, 2 shots. The second of those shots is the real danger one, isn't it? Vissel starting to maybe grow in confidence here. Flicked away by Park. Just offside, the flag up. Agihara. Diego to blast one. Picked up by Ideguchi. There's Hirose, who's missed the best chance of the game so far. Touch through to Togo Umeda. Vissel 5th last season in the end after 2 consecutive title wins. Yoshida leaving for his new challenge and Skiba arriving. Shimizu did well first season back. They were 14th, 9 clear of the drop, which is as well as you might have expected. I suppose Machida have shamed everyone, haven't they, in that respect? Kitazume. Well, that was a poor touch. Got his feet in a bit of a muddle there. Kengo Kitazume. And it goes from Ino. There was contact in the centre. Park Seung-wook stays down. That's why. Chance to take some water on here. Away by Diego. Agihara. Cleared by Kitazume. Do look solid at the back. Matheus Tula and Joao Caetano. Does look like he's building something. Skipper not happy about something here, as you can see. Kozuka. Oh, it's a shame, because it was a great idea. I thought the ball had gone out of play. It was hooked back by Kitazume and held anyway by Maekawa. That was a much better ball than he made it look. As you can see, Vissel dominating possession. And they created the best chance, the one that fell to Hirose, but still don't think Takayuki Yoshida will be too disappointed with his Shimizu side here. They've gone pretty well. Remember, they're playing the team that's top of the table, arguably the team that's been the best one in this special season so far, with respect to, of course, what's going on in the East. Here's Diego. We know, of course, if this ends with a penalty shootout, that Shimizu might just fancy that. Diego. Here's Nanase Ino. Oh, and that turns into a good ball, and so does that! And somehow they find a route to goal. Two miscues, and Katsuya Nagato takes advantage with his second of the campaign. And Vissel, in unorthodox fashion, take the lead. Watch how this comes about. That's all fine. And then the ball across as well. Miscue number one, and then number two. And then Nagato attacks it. Goalkeeper might do better there, Umeda. I know it's close range, but does he form enough of a block? I think on another day he saves it. Anyway, it's a good finish. But I suspect if you ask Yosuke Ideguchi about the intention of the assist, when it's against his name at the end of the campaign, he might be honest enough to admit he didn't mean it. I don't think either of them did. The cross was mishit, and then the volley certainly was. But anyway, you make your own luck, and it's a good finish at the end of it. Diego. We know Diego has a supreme long throw. One of the targets will be Matheus Tula. Joao Caetano is there as well. See how far he can get this. There'll be plenty of whip and torque on this. He's got great elasticity, Diego. Watch this. Away it goes. Onto the penalty spot it goes, and it drops kindly as well, but Ideguchi's effort blocked. What a ball that is from Agihara, bounced awkwardly. Finds its way through to O. Sento Uno. Yoshida. Kapishaba did well to play it across. It breaks kindly this time, but across came Ideguchi. Makoto Hirose, the player who's down, the player who missed that early chance for Vissel. To me, looks like the body language of a player who feels he's going to have to come off here. Making his 7th start of the season here, and players normally know. Looks like his left knee that he's looking at. Looks like they are going to make the change. Still discussing it. Serhat Umar down there with Mikhail Skibber. Yeah, here comes the change. Not quite sure what the delay is here, whether they're waiting for some sort of motorized stretcher to come out. Jean Patrick's the player who's going to come on as replacement. Lively Brazilian will replace Makoto Hirose. It's a shame for him, and we certainly wish him well in terms of how bad or otherwise the injury is. Anyway, we can resume. There'll be a fair amount of time added, I would imagine, at the end of the first half. Kitazume. Helped forward by Ideguchi, but Shimizu able to clear up any danger. Lovely touch to take it wide for Nakahara now. Great shimmy from him, and he couldn't quite pick the final pass, but he looks a real live wire, Hikaru Nakahara. He's had a good start to this game. They go short, and they work it well. It's a nice idea, but headed over. It was well defended. Ultimately, the target was Jelani Sumiyoshi. So his side behind against his old club, but it's been close, it's been tight. Kitazume to take the throw. Here's Uno. After a slightly sketchy start, Skibbo will be a lot happier with his side, I think. Kazuka trying to chase around the back is Kitazume. The goal here from Katsuya Nagato has given Vissel Kobe the advantage. Allow them to stretch their lead at the top. Shimizu are making them do plenty of work here. Sumiyoshi. Now Yoshida. Looked like a foul maybe, but it allows them to go forward. Here's Kitazume. Now Yoshida. Gets involved, doesn't he? Another player down here, this time Ren Komatsu, just as he's finding his feet at this level. Already lost Hirose. They're going to have to make another change here. You can see Schibber is saying it was a foul. So Komatsu's evening is over. Second Vissel Kobe injury in the first half here. Yuya Osako is the obvious replacement. Well, looks like he might be okay to carry on. Whether that is the case after half-time, where that injury has a chance to stiffen up, we'll see. Wouldn't be risking anything here. In reality, we're going to have 5 or 6 minutes added at the end of this first half. Komatsu chasing. I'm not sure he's moving particularly well, but as I said, they'll have a chance at half-time to assess him. Final minute, although it won't be, of this first half. Katsuya Nagato's goal, the one that separates them at the moment. Diego's throw. 5 added minutes is, I would say, the very least it could have been, given all the delays. Long towards John Patrick. Will look to pick up the pieces here, but cleared by Yoshida. Kitazume away by Park now. Here is Yutaka Yoshida. It's going to be time for Shimizu. Long throw here from Kengo Kitazume. Approaching the end of the second minute of the added 5. Yutaka Yoshida. Just overhit, isn't it? Frustrating again. Just haven't quite got it going in the final third here. Shimizu having played pretty well, I must say, up to that point. Kitazume's throw. Sumiyoshi. Another player down. It's been a half littered with injuries. It's Chiba there who was almost sandwiched. There's Nagato. Final moments then of the first half. Diego's going to chase, but he's going to do so in vain. Wait and see whether we see Ren Komatsu for the second half. He still looks to me like he's wincing there, and they've got a perfectly good replacement in Yuya Asako. Well, there is the half-time whistle. It's been a lively game, and Shimizu S-Pulse have certainly played their part, but at the moment, that goal from Katsuya Nagato, the two unintentional assists along the way, and Nagato heading home at the far post. Vissel, having missed one good chance through Hirose, who has since gone off, finally took the second through Nagato. From Shimizu's perspective, they need to offer more in that final third. And half-time in Kobe. Vissel Kobe 1, Shimizu S-Pulse 0.
J リーグファンサポーターの祭典 J リーグオールスターダゾーンカップ。出場する選手はファンサポーターによる投票と 明治安田 J リーグ100年構想リーグのベストイレブンから選ばれます。この動画ではファン・サポーター投票の詳細を説明します。投票方法は通常投票、スタジアム観戦投票、ダゾーン投票の3つ。通常投票は J リーグ公式 LINE または J リーグ所属の各クラブの公式 LINE のリッチメニューからオールスター投票を選択して参加します。 J リーグ ID に登録するだけで無料で簡単に投票に参加できます。スタジアム観戦投票は明治安田 J リーグ100年構想リーグの試合でご覧のいずれかのアクションを実施することで1試合ごとに LINE で投票できる投票権を獲得できます。投票権は対象試合の翌日までに付与されます。ダゾーン投票は試合視聴中のライブチャット機能ファンゾーンやアプリのログイン時に表示されるバナーから参加できます。通常投票とダゾーン投票は1週間に1回行うことができ、毎週新しい投票権を獲得することができます。スタジアム観戦投票は観戦した数だけ何度でも投票できます。続いて投票方法を説明します。1回の投票ごとにオールスターに出場してほしいと思う選手を6名までと監督1名を選んで投票します。選手はフォワード、ミッドフィルダー、ディフェンダー、ゴールキーパーの各ポジションから1名ずつの4名、さらに自由枠としてポジションにこだわらず追加で2名を選択。この時同じ選手に重複して投票はできません。最後に監督を選んだら投票完了です。投票は2月6日の明治安田 J リーグ100年構想リーグ開幕からスタートし、5月11日まで何度でも行うことができます。お気に入りの選手に今すぐ投票を。
Well, as we suspected, Vissel Kobe are going to make that change. Yuya Asako replacing Ren Komatsu. Remember, he was just struggling a little bit towards the end of that half. And two changes too for Shimizu. Mateusz Brunetti and Kenta Inoue, the new arrival from Yokohama F. Marinos, are on for Kapishaba, who didn't really make any kind of impact, and Kenta Chiba as well. So Skibber with a very good replacement. 35-year-old Yuya Asako. It was his goals that fired them to that dramatic title win in 2023. All 22 of them. And then 11 followed in 2024. So we're ready to get back underway. Vissel lead. The goal from Katsuya Nagato just before the half hour. And they decide to loft it downfield like that in rather eccentric fashion. Might just fall for them though. Here's Asako. Already had to make two changes in that first half. As a result of those injuries, Jean-Patrick already on. Ino with the throw. There's Agihara. Well, his side in front, and he'll be very aware of the threat that Shimizu pose. Kozuka to swing it wide. And now Yoshida. That took a ricochet. That's going to be a cheap corner. And already after the first half that was littered with injuries, we have one at the start of the second. This time it's Nanase Ino who's down. And that's why the contact was very high, but it was followed through. There's nothing deliberate about that from the substitute Brunetti. Still very painful though, of course, deliberate or otherwise. Kazuka's corner. Sumiyoshi battling hard, the centre half. Tried a little trick as well. Has it won them another corner? It has. Good feet there from Jelani Sumiyoshi. Agihara to take the corner. Moreno's okay, by the way. It was an impact injury. He'll have a bruise there, though. Really painful contact. Yutaka Yoshida. Mateusz Brunetti just floated beyond. Cleared by Maekawa. Too much pressure into the back of O. And Kazuka to take. Sumiyoshi. Probably feel they need a second here, Vissel Kobe, because even though Shimizu didn't threaten, they did have a lot of the ball, certainly in forward areas, just weren't able to quite do anything with it. Here's Jean-Patrick. Always does that, Jean-Patrick. Maybe not a great deal of end product. He has scored this season against Gamba, but he's really lively, strong runner. Good at situations like that, just almost running them out of trouble and winning the free kick. Matias Tule and Joao Caetano both forward from the back again, the two Brazilian centre-halves. As always, though, it will be about the quality of delivery, this time from Katsuya Nagato. Player went tumbling, the follow-up was struck by Ideguchi. Diego will look to wind up the long throw here again. We've already seen one get just beyond the penalty spot. Nagato, now Diego. Long chase here. Didn't have the pace to get away. Inoue making his debut for Shimizu. Hoping to make an impact here. Two changes to that Vissel side. from the one that started, as you'll see in a moment. Nothing in those defensive areas, but then further forward, a couple of alterations. Jean-Patrick and Yuya Osako on for Hirose, who missed that early chance, and Komatsu. Here's Agihara. Couple of changes at half-time. Matheus Brunetti on, as we saw for Kenta Chiba, and Kenta Inoue on. Kapishaba, the player, making way for him. So there's the team story finalised, and we may be about to see another change here. He's not happy, is he? He's acting again, Yoshida. So very strict tactical instructions there. In the meantime, helped through by Diego. Yudai Shimamoto, young, wide midfield player, is going to come on here for Nakahara, who's had a pretty good game. Making his second substitute appearance of the season here, Shimamoto. Made 13 appearances last season. One of the great users of a tactics board, Takayuki Yoshida. Agihara, that's a really good ball in towards Osako. Flag was up, wouldn't have counted anyway. Slipped as he tried to clear that. Way by Ino. There's Jean-Patrick. Silly shove in the back. They had them penned in there, but Ideguchi makes the challenge on Zento Uno. Still that goal just before the half hour by Katsuya Nagato. After the wild miss hit from Ideguchi. Fell for him. Yeah, he's got much to ponder right now. Takayuki Yoshida. Jean-Patrick. Opens up now, Vissel in behind, hit the hand, surely penalty. He got lucky there, Nanase Ino, because he had nowhere to go. But the hand was clearly outstretched. Clear penalty. Yoshida sliding in, and Vissel had the chance to double their lead. It's just onside, ragged defensive line. They were playing him on. And watch this, nowhere at all to go. Didn't really have too many options, but it's a clear handball. You can't slide in with your arm out, not these days. You have to control that left hand. And he knew it straight away. So, Takehiro Agihara who, as you can see, has slotted one into the top corner, did so against Sanfrecce last time. Will he go to the same place again? Normally a very confident penalty taker. Agihara goes to the opposite side and scores. And that may just be enough for Vissel Kobe. Yoshida will be so disappointed at the way they got in behind his side there. The goalkeeper will have been fully aware of where the last penalty went. And look where the eyes are, not on the ball, but on the goalkeeper. Waited for him to move, and then it opens up for you. It's a sign of a very confident penalty taker there. Nagato just shortly out of play, wasn't it? Diego just going to try and shepherd that, but had to touch. Nagato did well. Need to still be careful. Shimizu, remember, beaten only once in this campaign. Home fans thought there was a foul there on John Patrick, but nothing doing. He's done well since he's come on, though. On early for Hirose, not an easy situation for him necessarily. There's the contact from O. See Vissel as one of the powers at the moment, but hasn't always been the case. Champions for the first time, that title a couple of years ago, and then retained it. Only promoted to J-League in 1996, relegated a couple of times as well in 05 and 2012. It was 2019 in that Emperor's Cup. That was when they won their first title, the last ever game as a pro of David Villa. So it's been a long time coming. They've spent a long time building, but now they do look like a powerhouse. But if you need lessons, you only have to look at Yokohama F. Marinos and see how quickly it can change. Painful one, that, for Diego. When you commit fully to those challenges, it's a really painful landing. Home fans happy right now with what we're watching. Good adjustment there from Yutaka Yoshida as he hooked that away. Zento Uno, they've got to score the next goal, whatever happens here, Shimizu. That's a really good ball in for Oh, who missed it completely. Wasn't expecting it, back in from Yoshida. That's a chance for someone who's good in the air like him. Yoshida, this is better from Shimizu. They have a corner. Yudai Shimamoto then to take the corner. That's a good confident punch there. Player down, holding his head. Matthias Tuller, who was up, goes back to look at his countryman, Joao Caetano. This is where, yeah, it's not full-blooded in the face, is it? It's not a right hook, it was just the elbow caught him a glancing blow. Saki Yumiba on for his third substitute appearance of the campaign. Oh, with that half chance. It's difficult for a centre forward, isn't it, that he's trying to judge the flight of the ball, but you have to presume that it's going to come to you direct and attack it. Didn't make any contact. Matteus Brunetti. Yuya Osako. Nudged on by Yuya Osako, but hooked away. Just that one really big defensive lapse, the one that led to the penalty, when they were caught absolutely square. Aside from that, they defended okay. Shimizu, it was poor defending that cost them last season a bit, the 7th worst defence in J-League. They've been a bit tighter in this campaign, but not tonight. Matthias Brunetti. Yutaka Yoshida to take the throw as we head for the final 20 minutes here in Kobe. You can see the Shimizu fans away to the left still cheering their side on. Sumiyoshi. Now Matthias Brunetti. There's Park. Now Yumiba. Throw from Eno, and there's Jean Patrick. Sumiyoshi. Yoshida. Just looking for that opening, aren't they? Looking for that little touch of quality. Again, it's not quite there, but they are at least knocking loudly at the door now. We haven't seen that enough from Shimizu. Jelani Sumiyoshi. Looking again for the opening here, looking for some hope here, but comfortable save. It was Zento Uno, not known for his goal scoring, a holding midfield player with the shot. Yumiba. Oh, that was late. Really caught Diego there. First yellow card of the game, quite rightly. It's a little out of control there by Kenta Inoue. Stolen away by Jean-Patrick. Won by O. Burst of acceleration again to try and tee something up, but they defend the near post so well. They're so aware, Matthias Tuller and Joao Caetano. Shimamoto, who was charging to the byline, but they need more quality. Here's Yoshida. Matheus Brunetti. Diego with an awful touch to concede the corner. Final 15 minutes here. Vissel Kobe, thanks to Nagato in the first half, then the second half penalty from Agihara, have the advantage. Right now, it's hard to see Shimizu finding a way back. Yudai Shimamoto to take. Just kept it in play. Matheus Brunetti looking for that little touch on, and he found it as well. Oh, it was a lovely bit of skill, but Shimamoto wasn't able to capitalize. Are they just getting closer here? Yoshida. Kenta Inoue. Sumiyoshi. Little touch on from O. Towards O again. Goalkeeper just got enough on it. Yoshida. Matheus Brunetti. Haruto Hidaka, the player coming on to replace Yoshida, who gave away that penalty. And the scorer of the first goal makes way, Nagato. Here's his moment with that unorthodox assist. But he was the one who kept his eyes on it and attacked it. Got above Kitazume to score. Inui, the player, comes on to replace him. Vastly experienced. And a new arrival this season from Shimizu. Over 100 league appearances in 4 years, so Emotional moment for him. Come on against his old team. Here's Jean-Patrick. Is the Shimizu challenge just starting to fade a bit? Might be. Final 10 minutes now. Dropped forward for Haruto Hidaka. You see those Shimizu Ultras away on the left, still roaring their side on, encouraging them all they can. Looks in vain at the moment, but who knows what might happen in the last 10. Vissel turned it round against Sanfrecce last time in this period of the game. Could Shimizu do likewise? Not like that, they can't. He's had a good game, though. Sumiyoshi making his 9th start of the season today. Former Sanfrecce player, the centre half. He looks a real ball player, doesn't he? Nanase Ino to take the throw. Diego. Forward for Jean-Patrick. Flag stays down over on the far side. Here's O. Now it goes up. I thought it might. Had some Tottenham Hotspur links over the years. Shimizu, they won the J.League Cup in 1996 under Osvaldo Ardiles, and won the Asian Cup Winners' Cup 99, 2000 under Steve Perryman, both legends at Tottenham. Inui. Ino. Agihara. Yuta Goke. Ideguchi. Feels like their rhythm has improved as the game has gone on here, Vissel. Of course, a lot of that can come with confidence of having the 2 goals. But they were a bit stop-start for the first 20 minutes. Now they look like a team who's top of the table, and Jean-Patrick not too far away there. I think a 3-goal difference would be particularly harsh. The moment, Vissel Kobe in complete control. And they're 2 goals late on against Sanfrecce last time. They'd already scored one of them by now. It was 84 and 94. So Shimizu, away from home as well, would have to do something pretty dramatic. And bearing in mind, they barely created anything. There's no particular reason why they'd suddenly score twice. Vissel very nearly home here. And they'll stretch that lead at the top. Moment it's going to be a 5-point advantage at the top in the west for Vissel. Others with a game in hand, but that's still significant. Hidaka. Cleared by Matthias Tula. Oh, that's a weak header back, and Yuya Osako trying to take advantage, but very well defended by Sumiyoshi. Maybe now's the time. Maybe they can do something late on. Spins behind for a corner. Final 30 seconds now. Oh, it's an air shot, not even a miscue, just missed it completely. Yuya Osako, 4 minutes to be added. Hidaka. It's going to be a long throw here. Haruto Hidaka, oh, looking for the touch on. Not been positive enough. Is that going to change? It's not. Well, they've come up short here. They go to Vivar and Nagasaki next, and then a quick turnaround against Sanfrecce. And they'll look to put the lessons of this in the bank. They just haven't been good enough in the final third. Vissel have found a way, and they're going to make late changes. Gotoku Sakai, another of their vastly experienced players, back for the first time since February the 13th, is on. And Yuya Kuwasaki, formerly of Shimizu's next opponents, Vivarin, both on here. Ideguchi will always remember this game for that assist. And Nanase Ino off as well. Good to see him nearly completing, though, after being on the wrong end of that challenge early in this half from Matheus Brunetti. Haruto Hidaka with the throw. The chase on here for John Patrick, but he's not going to quite get there. Well, it's been the story of a slow start from Vissel, admittedly, but finding their rhythm, finding their way, and then a goal in either half. Both with a touch of good fortune in the way that they came about, but they certainly deserve the win. The first, that rather eccentric double assist. The second, the cross that was going nowhere, but handled by Yoshida. Yellow card for time wasting from Matthias Tuller, and he's out next time. Not quite sure why you'd do that. 2-0 up with seconds remaining. This will be the final bit of action. Goalkeeper was always claiming that, Maekawa, and that will do it. Good professional display from about 20 minutes onwards. Shimizu started the better. Vissel then took charge. Nagato scoring the first with that close-range header after the slice by Ideguchi, and then Agihara, the captain, with his second penalty in 2 games. Very well taken after the hand from Yoshida. Vissel certainly deserve it because of that extra threat in the final third. Shimizu not quite good enough in that regard. So having beaten his old team once this season, Yoshida, he goes down to them here. Shigeba's side just too good, particularly in forward areas. And even though there was that touch of good fortune, you wouldn't deny them it, because it finished deservedly. Vissel Kobe 2, Shimizu S-Pulse 0. So all that remains for us is to wait to hear from one of the heroes. It's going to be one of the 2 goal scorers, I'd be fairly sure of that. Either Nagato or the captain, Agihara. Maybe the fact that Nagato went off means that he's a bit more available for the people to go and drag him for an interview, but we shall see. So Vissel go 5 points clear in the West. Shigeba's side, impressive. It's always hard when you take over a side that's gone so well. 2 titles in 3 seasons, albeit 5th in the last campaign, something of a drop-off, but he's really got them going, Shigeba, already showing, I think, that his appointment looks a good momentum-giving one. And Yoshida's done a similarly good job with Shimizu, having left Vissel. I'm not sure they're going to challenge for the title next season, but he certainly has them very well established as a top 8 force, that kind of thing. And if they recruit well, that could get better. They'll go and thank their fans. We'll hear from one of the 2 goal scorers. Well, I can see Agihara in the background there. I suspect it will be Nagato, the scorer of the first goal, but we shall soon find out. Time, it looks like, for a final huddle from the home side. Got a good, strong squad as well. I can see Boniface and Duca in the background there. Well, Shigeba, the knowledge that much needs to improve. Translator there doing a good job with him. Very much showing them who is in charge. I must say, and this is just my view, I think there's so much show about this. I don't think you win titles or get the respect of players doing this at all. It's showing the fans that he's in control. He could do this in the dressing room. And when you look at what Shigeba's won over the years, he's had a lot of jobs, he's not won a great deal. We'll see, won't we? We'll see if he can win J-League, but it won't be because of those very showy post-match huddles anyway. Anyway, now we wait to hear from either Agihara or Nagato. Yoshida leaves the place where he used to be king, where he did win 2 titles. And the Shimizu fans next will travel to Nagasaki to cheer on their side. Difficult day for them. But still a better season so far anyway than they could have imagined. Nothing like a coach who wants to be centre of attention, is there? here now from one of our Vissel Kobe heroes. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll wait to hear from them. They'll be with us in just a moment.
それでは勝ちましたヴィッセル神戸長門選手に来ていただきました。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
2対0での勝利です。まずはお気持ち聞かせてください。
いや本当に勝たなきゃいけない試合が続いてますし、試合に出させてもらっている以上、なんとか結果を残したい気持ちでいっぱいでした。はい。
さあ先制点となりましたゴールシーンですが、前半28分でした。井出口選手からのボール頭で決めていきました。あのシーン振り返